Dice Down Gaming. This week, we are talking about the roadmap that Steamforce Games have posted on Wednesday about what's coming up and what's not coming up and what's been delayed. We're going to deep dive into that. How is everyone in the chat? Thanks for joining us. We hope you're well. Have you have a good week? Have you played any Warmachine? What are you up to? And the most important question of every week, Dan, how are you? And how's your week been, man?
I'm good. I didn't get a chance to play Warmachine last week, but I'm playing tomorrow, which is going to be great. And I'm currently looking at the roadmap and considering my future, which faction I fancy next, what I want to play, and obviously also recovering from the Welsh Masters, which was last week. Disappointed to go 3-3, but had some great games. Just want to do a particular shout out to my first round opponent, who is Kurt from the Elite Cardray podcast. Absolute gen, such lovely Shadowflame Shard painted army with his lovely pink hues, and yeah, absolutely loved it. Great weekend. Hang out with you for a weekend, so it wasn't too bad. Yeah, so yeah, I'm doing well. How you doing? How was your trip away and everything?
Yeah, man. Nice. Glad you had a good weekend. A few people in the chat. Hey, Tom, Huggy, how are you? And Chris, mate, how are you? Tom has played a few games last weekend. Nice, man. How did they go? And Chris is practicing for WTC list lock. Yeah, that's really soon. Hope you guys
Yeah,
feeling good for it. Hope you guys practiced. So yeah, I had a really nice week. I went to Switzerland, first time ever for work. That was fantastic. Really beautiful place. Really nice, sort of relaxed vibe. Nice people. That was really good. Um, and a successful trip in terms of what the bank
yeah.
wanted from it. And then
Mm.
I got to play a game of War Machine this morning against good friend Robbie. That was really great. First time using Old Umbre. They were really fun to use, and managed to just about pull out an assassination. Pulled victory from the jaws of defeat. Robbie killed about 60% of my army in one go. He had a really decent Kishtar turn with the feet, which is additional dice, dropped the lowest. He really came in, did a lot of work, and he just got an assassination with Bodan with insight, casting a few spells at Kishtar. I just got a so it was a really fun game. Um, yeah, and we're here to talk about the roadmap, sort of unexpectedly posted. Didn't really anticipate it coming from Steamforce Games, but nice to get communication. I think their communication's been better lately. For little things like the core Umbre box being very clear that if you order it past this date now, it will be delayed, etc. So credit to them. That's good. And we're going to talk about what we think of all of it and how it affects maybe what we're doing in the future and what you're going to buy and not buy and all of that. Yeah, Welsh Masters was really good. I think we had a fantastic weekend. We had a friend Steve who is learning the game, come with us, and he really enjoyed being there. I think we had 11 out of 12 good games between us, and yeah, we had a good time. I was lucky enough to go 4-2. You went 3-3, and I think we were both. I know you would rather have gone 4-2 than 3-3, but you weren't unhappy. I don't think with going 3-3.
No, no, I think the two of the games that I lost were still absolutely fantastic games. Played against Huggy, who often comments, and it was a delight to play him after not playing him since Guild Ball WTC. So it was great to catch up with him, and we just had a real slogathon where we killed so much each, and he just took it away at the end. Try Chimerax, time placing that thing. I think it must have healed a million over the game. But it was great. And then my round 5 loss at the start of day 2, I was in complete control. I was up on scenario, winning the attrition battle, and I gave my opponent an assassination run. I was like, it's fine. He's got a rolled hard nines. That's not going to happen. And then he did it with rolling a hard nine to win the game. And at that, while I was like, oh, actually, that's what I love about Warmachine, because I was like, right, I'm in control, but and as his point, he saw it, he took it, he rolled it, done. Because if he doesn't roll that nine, obviously I win on scenario and just kill his castle, all the rest of it. But that's what I love about Warmachine, that you know what, you do get punished. I could have done something else, but I didn't. So yeah, it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Looking forward to Welsh next year. Looking forward to going to more events. But definitely felt that, I know we're not going to go into too much detail, but having really enjoyed my dusk, I definitely think just taking a step away and playing a different faction for a little bit, considering the roadmap, just to keep it fresh. And when we look at the win rate, particularly at the Welsh, So I went 3-3, and there was two Dusk players just ahead of me, all on 3-3. No one went 4-2 with Dusk, which was interesting in itself. But yeah, no, it was, yeah, I enjoyed it, and I know that you got assassinated twice.
Yeah, and it was like you say, right? I love it. I think it's part of the game, and it's quite interesting. Quite a few people were apologetic about that. They were like, I'm really sorry, but I think I can get you." And I was like, "Sick, right? You let me know how you can do it. Your order of activation. Both times they played for it, they got it, and yeah, I think that's a fantastic part of the game. And like in your case, it was a great tool for someone to potentially win a game that otherwise they would definitely lose. In my case, it was two pretty quick kills for me, as in like I got killed quickly, but that's just part of the game, right? And in both of the times, I could have protected against it and didn't, and I learned from that. So yeah, I love it. I love assassination. I love assassination runs, and yeah, I think they're fantastic. So I think all in all, we had a great time at Welsh. Similar to you, I think I'm quite
Yeah.
fortunate now that I can jump on Old Umbre and take a break from like Brian Bloods. I think that will work well. And I think we're both keen to do like War Manchester, Welsh, and probably the York Weekender next year, right?
Yeah, and I think it was great to have Steve with us as well, which was really interesting to have had someone that wasn't playing in the Welsh, that was just watching. He just wanted to come in and be sort of involved in the community, and actually having that third party to have conversations with, and he was watching our games, and I think that added to it too,
Yeah, I
along
think.
with the half an hour wait for McDonald's on the Friday.
Oh yeah, Adio, that was the longest wait ever. So Steve's in the chat. Thanks for joining us, Steve. Steve said he's painting sludge flowers and watching Ryder Cup. Let's go Europe. The Americans have been absolute wankers. If we beat them 14-3.5, I'll be very happy. And then they can all get USA, USA as we beat them. Fuck them. We've got Tom, Huggy. I think they wanted to let us know there'll be some delays for about the boxes, which is really good. And Steve was jumping a bit of the game when he was watching the game against Dan. Yeah, Steve's really keen. Steve's playing Dan tomorrow. I'm playing Steve Tuesday. He's getting involved. Flindo, thanks for joining us. As a troll fan, I am bummed, but at the same time, the previous league schedule wasn't sustainable long term, so it's the correct call at the end of the day. Yeah, I've seen a few people be like, I'm so gutted that Kifcard are going to come out later. And that's super valid, right? It's quite a big delay. I think we were expecting them next month, right? Previously. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah, we were originally thinking. So
yeah.
I was planning, thinking, right, okay, so when payday, let's start thinking about what's going to happen. When am I going to order which Kith card box is going to be available? Let's go in on it. I've got my plan. I've spoken to Russ from Steamforge Games about my idea for orange trolls, and he gave me some, yellow, orange and yellow trolls, and he gave me some great tips about painting pink and then putting the yellow over the top, because it's much easier, and reds and pinks are much easier to cover apparently. So I'm excited, but obviously they're delayed till February, so we're going to talk about that in a bit.
Yeah. And I think that is annoying, obviously. But I think doing this way of saying, look, guys, like we've had Old Umbre exceed expectations. They've been transparent about delivery times in Old Umbre. I think it's better than doing this than just saying nothing for the whole of, say, November or October, and then they say, oh, it's been delayed. I think just telling people it's delayed before it's released is the best way to go. Obviously, ideal situation, there's no delays, but at least
Yeah.
communicating delays is better than not. Tom says, I won my fifth round by assassination after getting out attritioned. Love to see it. Flindo, I'm planning for 3 battle groups in the command box already. So yeah, Flindo, unfortunately you have to wait a little longer, but at least you know that when they do release them, they're going to be available. Not You won't order them in October and then they'll be delayed until February, and you'd probably be more angry that way, right? If you're now when you order them in February, you can expect to get them within a reasonable time frame.
Yeah.
Um, Right, nice. So let's start looking at the roadmap. I suppose maybe it's worth down, as you're saying, post Welsh Masters, you were planning on something else. What was your plan post Welsh Masters, pre roadmap?
Pre roadmap, Kithgard. I know the last Hunt box isn't out yet. Looking forward to getting that and painting it and having particularly the last Hunt unit and the Archer solo. Really looking forward to that. But I was thinking I'm going on Kithgard. It was quite convenient. Originally the roadmap was, I think it was the like battle box, like the small command group, and then one box. And if I could build it up over time, a bit like you, some people done with Old Umbre or Gravediggers is a good example. I thought that's fine. I can order a box. I can play a small game with potentially Steve, who's new. I can build it up slowly but surely, and it's not too much of an investment in one go, and I can enjoy the painting side of it and that sort of thing. But then obviously we found out that it was going to be delayed with the roadmap. But before that, I was also at the Welsh, as I was thinking, I want to just need to play a different faction.
Yeah, yeah.
I regret getting rid of all my Mark III factions because I think that would be so easy to get something out of the box and just play it. Spoken to a couple of guys locally, been offered to borrow Rid's like Cephalix. I can't remember what they're called. The
Dark Operations now.
Dark Operations, been offered to borrow bits from other armies as well. So I'm going to think about that sort of bit more. Tomorrow I'll be playing. I've got a very small amount of Shadowflame Shard that are not painted, that just put together. So I've managed to build a really basic 100-point list, mainly because Big Pig can go in everything, and I'm using that against Steve tomorrow. That's not because I'm particularly looking forward to playing them. It's just to play something new and different, and sort of flex those sort of mental gymnastics of actually playing something new and also just try and test something out. I'd love Old Umbre, but you're going for it because those models are gorgeous.
You could do it though. I think we could still have two of us playing.
I think we've also discussed how we've got quite a small local community, and
true.
I really want to double up. I like being a special Snowflake Dust player. It's Gravediggers. I really love the models, but again, it's the investment to get to an army that you need. No hobby's cheap, but when it's a case of I'm thinking of a side army, Kithgard would have been great to build up slowly. I feel like with the other factions, I kind of need to buy quite a chunk to get to a decent list. So I'm going to be playing.
That's the thing about getting into an existing army, right? Because it's all available. You feel like, oh, I want all of it straight away because it's there. Whereas when they're releasing like a box a month, you can't do that, right? You're limited, and then you can paint that box a month, etc.
Exactly, and when it's limited as well, I think one of the benefits of that is you can build it up. You don't have to invest in it in one go. You can buy one of each box, and then you can decide. Actually, you know what? I love building this, painting this, using this. You don't have to go and buy three of a heavy jack or whatever. But with those existing armies, where we also have a bit more knowledge about them. I know that if I was to play Gravediggers, for example, I'd want a really jack heavy list.
Yeah.
And I'd probably want a trencher list, but painted like almost like a World War II, sort of World War One military like sort of style. So that's a lot of boxes I'd need to buy.
Yeah.
While you can get things like the Extreme Plugger on from 3D printed and things like that. It's something that's just held me back a little bit. And I'd want Boom Boom McCoy because that is a cool model. So
no, I understand that. I think the opportunity to sort of get an army as it's released is also quite appealing, right? Because you can be say they release the command box and the battle group box, you can start getting games with just those boxes, and you can be on a frontier of experimenting with lists, and you can be on the Discord saying I tried this, and I get that, and a part of that, and also that's a massive excitement, and I'm enjoying now. It was so hard for me to pick one warlock to play because all of them are new, right? Every game is a new game with a new warlock, so it's really exciting. So I think having that's something new is quite unique, and I suppose Gravediggers is fully already a bit understood now, right? Boom Goom's good, and Vargas is good, and Jake's is good. Whereas with the new Kithgard, you'll be like, oh, no one knows what's good, and you'll be part of that frontier of finding out what is good. So yeah, I can understand that. So your current stance now is you reckon you'll just play with something, fill the gap until February, and then still go deep into Kithgard?
That's the plan. Also, like anything, finances. We've got Christmas coming up. Conveniently, my son and stepson are both born in December, so that makes December even more expensive. But yeah, I can see myself dabbling in some other factions if I can borrow armies from other people. They've been really good in saying, actually, you know what, you can just borrow it. Like Rid's like, you literally can borrow it because I'm going to be playing Orgoth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, good luck after it in a box sort of thing. So that's really good. So it might just be a case of doing that and almost being a bit more casual, especially in our sort of local group until we go to Steamrollers. I know we've got your Steamroller coming up, and I'll try and get other bits done for it, and try and get to London events, and this, that, and the other. But I think, yeah, I can see myself just having enjoying Warmachine and the breadth of Warmachine over the next couple of months before going heavy on Kithgard. But there's also some other things on the roadmap which I'm definitely going to be
Yeah, yeah.
tempted by.
I think that's a nice point, right? Because I think maybe since I come back in January, there's been regular events like regular steamrollers, and pretty early on we decided we were going to the Welsh, and I think in a way, we were preparing for the Welsh for a little while. So maybe now it's a nice time. Okay, I have a steamroller in November, but that can always just be more of a casual play some silly shit, right? From now till the new year. Like I'm on a new army, so it's all new for me anyway. I think maybe it'd be quite a nice time to just sort of do a play what you want phase. Even though we always play with a we play in a not a competitive way, but we play to a good level. We can always play a
Yeah,
bit more loosey list and just try some stuff and
yeah.
do that until the new year. And really like you say, really enjoy the game just for the game.
Yeah,
Few people in the
I think it
chat.
was.
You go, mate. You go.
I just want to say also, we found it one thing that I take away from the Welsh is we played all 6 scenarios over the weekend, and it definitely confirmed some feelings about some scenarios and some about others. So looking forward to the hopefully January new Steamroller in 2026. I know we're only in the end of September, but I think there's some good
Oh
good
mate, let's not dabble around it. Payload is shit, and best laid plans is just a tiny bit above shit, and the rest are good. Payload is
yeah,
like big shit,
yeah,
and then like best laid plans is a little less big with big shit. Flindo, my current project right now is switching all my current P3 bottles back to the PP style bottles. That is a project, dude. So good luck for that.
that's a big thing.
Tom, buying into Chimera was painful. Yeah, buying into an existing army, it's got to be like £600-700 now, right? It's a lot.
Yeah. I think if you're going to try and have multiple options, particularly with how lists generally go now, so you want to have multiples of the same jack.
Hmm.
You want to have multiple units. I think the boxes are really well sort of put together. I think they're great products when you buy one of each, but the cost certainly when you're like, I only want one of those units in the box, like a double one. Is it worth me buying the whole box again, where I'm going to have an extra caster I don't need, maybe an extra couple of solos I don't need, and maybe even a unit I don't need?
Mm.
So it's interesting. And how did you do it with Old Umbre? How did you buy into them? Have you ordered one of each box, two of each box? And while you do that, I'm just going to very quickly just need to go and sort something out. So if you
Yeah, you
want
go,
to
you go.
explain what Old
Yeah,
Umbre,
and I
wait
know
2 seconds.
yeah, I will. And there's a few things in the chat as well. So, Flindo really hoping when Pharaoh drop in January, they get a nice rework. I think Flindo, my understanding is it will be very similar to Dark Operation, that you'll be able to, if you're on My Mini Factory, you'll be able to get access to the models. And there will be some element of rules rework, and you'll get some new units that get a new rule. So I think it'll be a bit of a blend of new rules plus being able to buy the old models via being printed. Chris Clare, boom, boom with a heart. I know you love him, Chris. Ghost of the Older Ones, Green from Germany. I have Mark III Crix, Scorn and Mark III Ouroboros. I'm currently debating Mark IV. I mean, Old Umbre, to give you them Mark IV, but Ouroboros vibes, I can recommend. However, to put €150 in a legacy group just to play it, I think it is worth it because the game's fantastic. It's my favourite game to play, so I'm biased. But I would jump in, Ghost. Chris Kerr, don't forget the big update in Jan. Yes, Chris. That is going to be fantastic. I really can't wait to see what happens, what gets uplifted, what gets a bit toned down. I'm really excited for that, and maybe larger game mechanic changes rather than just army changes. I can't wait, and we're going to talk about that, obviously. I expect Horus nerfs. Yeah, I think it's probably expected that Horus loses something. It doesn't have to be like a big nerf. Maybe you can go down to control 12. Maybe his free rolls can be limited. Maybe he can lose his 3 inch place. I don't know, but he's got such a long list of things that make him so good. I think losing one thing wouldn't be too bad. And my Tricky will get a tap of the Nerf hammer. Yeah, so I expect the trike to get some sort of downshift. I think it's a combination, Tom, of like of the rapid healing plus spell hate plus Dragon's Blood. I don't know I don't know how I'd change it. I'm not big brain enough to suggest anything, but it feels like with all those three things, it's a bit much. And maybe if it can lose one thing, or maybe you can shift the heads around. I don't know. But I would expect it to maybe get a little light tap with the Nerf hammer. Chris, looking forward to play random stuff after WTC. Yeah, very much, Chris. I can understand that. Me and Dan were lucky enough to attend Guild Ball WTCs. We were both captains, and like I think after so much prep for the WTC and it happens, I think after that you're very ready just to play some more fun, games with some random lists and just take your foot off the gas pedal for a little while, right, and take it a bit more easy. Um, in terms of Old Umbre, so what I did is I bought the command. Well, I was fortunate enough to be sent by Steamforce Games the command box and the battle group box. So from there, I had two war beasts, a character war beast, then a character unit, and some solos. And then for myself, I bought the second box I bought with the additional solos that I wanted because yeah, like it wasn't quite worth it for me to buy two boxes because there wasn't enough that I wanted. But for the second box, the auxiliary box, which was Alessia and the Bears, I did buy two boxes of that because I pretty much used everything apart from the Warlock. Um, so I think if you work it out, it's probably around 400, around £600 for all of the old Umbre I wanted, and I've still got to order Yana, and I probably want to get another Feral. It's probably around £700 for my old Umbre. That is pretty much a duplicate of everything you'd want in the army. So you could just accept that you have less choice, and it would be cheaper. But yeah, it's not super easy, not super cheap to get to fully invest in an army if you want all of the options you want these days. I think it's comparable to 40k cost, honestly, Age of Sigmar cost. I don't think that Warmachine is any cheaper these days to invest than the big games. Chris bringing out the steel heads, yeah, man, that would be awesome. A guy from London came to one of our events with like some beautifully painted steel heads, and it made me really nostalgic for the old Mark III mercenaries. They are a really cool army. They look really cool. Their lore is really cool, and really, really a lot of options to paint them however you want, right? Um, so let's take a look at the roadmap and see if there's any surprises for us upcoming. So first of all, got Kador Old Umbre. September, this is obviously going to be the Alessia box. So this is the box with the bears. That's expected. So, but what is maybe surprising to me, I didn't expect this. We've also got Old Umbre releases in October, November, and December. That's really, really interesting. Wasn't expecting much more to come because I think even in September we can pre-order. Well, yeah, I've already pre-ordered the Bear Warlock, so that's going to be three more things to come post Bear Warlock. That's really exciting. I think in the initial leak there was a Lord of the Hunt, or Lord, yeah, because the old one was Lord of the Feast. Lord of the Hunt was like spoiled, so there's an 80 millimeter Lord of the Hunt coming out, I believe, which sounds amazing, super cool. I can't wait to see what artwork or what the model looks like. But in November and December, completely unknown. Do you guys know what to expect for the next Old Umbre launch, like models or releases? I had no idea that they were getting more stuff, so that's very interesting. I can't wait for it, obviously, and I'll get all of it. But that's really, really interesting. And then below that, we've got Dark Operations, which I really didn't expect them to be going on for so long. I don't know, when do people know when Dark Operations started this year? because they're going for an awful long time, but maybe that's only actually a year, and they started last February. I'm not sure. Um, but we've got releases till February for Dark Operations. So by the looks of it, every single month until February, we're gonna get something new, which is really, really interesting. Obviously, we've had the Iconoclast Shooty Boys this month, so that still leaves us five more releases for Dark Operations. I believe there was some sort of talk of some Dominators, which can like take units from other armies. There was some talk about taking some like Signar guys in Dark Operations. That'll be really interesting. I don't know what else they've got on the cards though. So they've even with that and the Iconoclast Boom Boom Boys, there's still four more potential releases or more. They could have more than one release a month. So that's really interesting. Don't know what will come out there. And then November is the Dusk and Orgoth. So this, I'm pretty sure China has confirmed that that is the new Frozen and Forgotten boxes. So that brings us to November, and then I was surprised. Oh, Dan's back. All good, Dan?
Sorry about that.
No.
Yeah, all
Uh,
good. Yeah, all sorted. Thank you. Sorry for
no, it's all
for
good. I was saying for
yeah.
Old Umbre, obviously in September we know there's a current box and there's the Bear Warlock. So October, November, and December means there's new stuff coming, which isn't those. So there's three more releases come. So I don't know what they'll be, but that's really exciting. Um, uh, Tom says a wild Dan appears. Dan is back. Robbie
Yeah,
Graham,
sorry.
hey mate, how are you? Dark Operations getting Colossal Spider from Wild West. Never say never, right? Never say never. And Steve, what about that new model, which is a dual pistol guy that's now a skull dude? Yep, there was artwork shown for that. I don't know what army it
It
was.
was a skull dude.
Yeah, it was like you know the old pistol wraiths from Cricks, where you had
Yeah.
two
Oh yeah,
guns.
yeah,
It was like one of them.
yeah.
But maybe that could be for Dark Operations. That would
Well,
be fitting.
yeah.
Great shout, Steve. That could fit into there. Because
I mean,
after Old Umbre, Dark
yeah,
Operations is going till February. So it says every
yeah.
month till February there's some sort of release.
Could it be they're releasing an extra box as well? On
Mm.
the Dusk and Orgoth, we're presuming that's the last hunt, right?
Yeah,
But we're
Shiner has confirmed
presuming.
that. That is
Oh, okay,
definitely
she's
is it definitely is the last hunt.
just the last hunt. Nothing else
Well,
coming out.
she said it's the last hunt, but he didn't say it's just the last hunt.
Yep. See,
So
well, speculation.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
didn't
definitely
realize
not
that
going to
wasn't
be a
out
poll.
till November.
Yeah, no, I didn't realise either. I was hoping we're going to have it for Welsh, but obviously not. These things happen.
Yeah.
Have you spoke about Crucial Guard being
No,
4 months?
we didn't get to that yet. Chris Clare says it is just remodels as they finish them. Oh, for Dark Operations, it's just more remodels. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Crucible Guard. So they did speak about last year's Adepticon, I believe. They did say that Infernals, Crucible Guard,
Yeah,
Convergence as well,
yeah.
and and Cephalix. Or they weren't mentioned. Or was it Grimkin that was mentioned?
Grimkin, I thought.
Yeah, so those four armies at one point.
Versus Osiris as well were mentioned, I think.
Yeah, so Convergence, Grimkin, Crucible Guard, and
Yeah,
Infernals. What they did mention that they would be available at some point. So in November, oh no, actually as early as October, so as early as next month. And I believe this follows the same pattern as Dark Operations, where you
yeah,
can, it's like a thing called a tribe on My Mini Factory, and you buy into the tribe, and then you get that month's access to the prints. So Crucible Guard are coming
yeah.
back as early as October. I've never played against
Yeah.
Crucible Guard. Did you play them against in Mark 3 or Mark 4?
Yeah, loads. They were nasty, for want of a better phrase. Particularly their Colossal, with I cannot remember his name. There was one Crucible Guard Warcast that was particularly better than notably better than the others.
Hmm.
Which I can't remember what his feat did, but it massively increased their output. The amount of AoEs that had continuous effects and yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they come out like.
Yeah, so I don't play against them, but that's really, really exciting. Bob Meister said Grimkin is getting it too, I believe. Yeah, we agree. We agree, Bob. I think we think it's Grimkin, Infernals, Cock, and
Yeah,
Crystal Guard.
and
Chris says Baldwin is the caster.
yeah,
The guy from Blackadder is a caster. It's very cool.
yeah. But that's
So then we've got the core book,
yeah.
core physical book in December. Quite interesting
Hopefully, we're going
because
to get cards before this. By the way, let's hope they've just not ignored the whole that they said we were going to get cards. Let's
so
hope they're just
at
an
Welsh
extra.
Masters, did you open up
Yeah.
the organized play kit
Yes, they had the cards as in the
command cards?
command cards. I mean the physical cards that those physical cards that were mentioned, as well as the apparel, as well as privateer press gang, or as well as press gangers at that Adepticon keynote. I think it was last year.
Yeah, so I mean, Adepticon, I don't know when it is. Chat, be our vessels. Let us know when Adepticon is this year. But there's no way, surely, they can get to Adepticon and do another keynote and have not mentioned anything about press gangers or physical cards or merch. I would be very embarrassed if I had to deliver the keynote and hadn't mentioned anything that we promised last year. So
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
would really. I mean, yeah, it'd be an interesting thing to do, wouldn't it? To promise more when not delivering previous.
Yes, and interesting. Where are you at with physical core book? For myself,
I want
I
it.
I don't want
I'm
it.
gonna buy it.
Well, no, and I don't, and
All right.
I don't not want it, but I won't buy it because all the rules are on the app, and I would just go be a book that goes into a cupboard and then never gets opened. You're gonna buy it?
Yeah. And the reason I'm going to buy it is I enjoy books also. I if it's got lore in it, I'm quite interested in reading a bit of it. I will purchase it. What I will get annoyed about, if I'm honest though, is if it's a 40 if like 40k, you buy a book and 3 months later it's been errated. So I'm
Well,
hoping.
the book comes out in December. January update is a month after.
I really hope there's no core rule changes in the January update because that would be frustrating.
Well, we'll wait and see because like for me personally, I wouldn't mind physical cards, though the app is good enough. But I really
Yeah.
wasn't ever really interested in getting a physical rulebook. So it's interesting because there's a lot of happy response, I think. Not for me, but that's fine. Robbie, if the rule has a good chunk of lore, I'll be happy. I think there was, we're expecting to have a good chunk of lore in the core rulebook, so that's very good.
Yeah.
Um, so then in January, then also Fawnful Alliance become available. I believe this. Tom says, well, I read somewhere that Crucible Guard won't be part of the tribe and will be standard STLs that you can buy. But if you're part of the tribe, you get a reduction. So I don't really understand how the My Mini Factory 3D stuff works.
Right.
So maybe what he's saying is that the tribe is the monthly subscription, and then
Yeah.
you can buy the STLs additionally. But if you're a tribe member, you get a discount on the STLs, which would make sense. Chris said previously core rule changes haven't happened in January. Oh well, so your book might not be out of date for like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Um,
It's got lore. It's got a lot of lore and like cool art. It depends on what the price is as well. If it's a £20 book, I'll buy it. If it's a 40 or 50 quid book, I'm like,
yeah, but question is right. So you read the
yeah,
law, which is cool, obviously. When you play
yeah,
a game and you need to
yeah.
check a rule, are you going to open the book?
Honestly, we got printed. So we Chelsea just before you started playing, we got the rule book printed. Someone got it printed at like a university and bound up like we've got the
Yeah,
steamroller
but why
packet.
bother when you
And
can go on the app and just search the rule?
yeah, but sometimes you're trying to get through the app. I get what you're saying.
I think you fucking bunch of boomers.
Wow, wow.
You can search
I'm
the
a
rule on
year
the app,
older
man.
and I'm a boomer.
Yeah,
Jesus.
you
Right,
can tell,
okay.
man. You can tell.
Could tell. Yeah, that's fine.
Steve, it's like £35. Steve, how do you know the price of it already? You fucking guy that haven't had a playing game yet and knows more than us about.
Steve is a boomer and he's like, I need to read it
Yeah,
because,
Steve, you'll need it. I'm not sure even know how that works. Tom, it'll be available separately, direct from Steam Force physically, or as a digital ST app. Oh, okay. So you'll be able to buy just Crucible Guard. Apparently, they'll print it for you and you'll pay full price. or you can buy the STL pack from the 3D store.
Right.
Oh,
It's
but
like a trench crusade kind of business model.
yeah, because like you can't buy Dark Operations just yourself. You have to just print them.
Yeah.
So interesting that Crucible Guard are more. You can just buy them yourself.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Unless you buy them off the guy off eBay that's printing it all.
Yeah, or we just ask Rid. We pay
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
STL.
I'll
So
ask you, mate, with a 3D
yeah,
printer.
interesting. So yeah, Form 4 Alliance, they are coming in January. I don't know what the model will be for that. Maybe someone in the chat has actually read the article, and we haven't. But I'm not sure.
Hey, yeah.
Go on.
Okay, so I reckon Carver 5 or whichever number is up to is going to be the Thornpool Alliance, as well as, can you remember Maximus, my favourite pig back in Mark II,
Hmm.
Doom Reaver pig? He is going to be having dual Doom blades,
Yeah,
and he's gonna be rocking it. That's
nice. So I think these. I imagine that these probably follow the model of Crucible Guard, because that seems as a
yeah
company the way to maximize profit, right? Because you can just sell the army from people that don't want to print it, and then if you do want to print it, great, but you don't have to print it; you can just buy it. So maybe that will follow
yeah
the same model.
yeah
So they're actually coming out before Kithguard. So could you be
yeah.
tempted to do Form 4 instead of Kithguard?
Uh, uh, yes, I could be tempted. Um, I could be, but if we know that Sherwin loves his Thornfall.
Yeah,
We know Reed is going to buy into, I think, his 6th pig army,
yeah,
and because he loves pigs. So again, it comes down to like, is it how many people are going
yeah.
to be playing it locally?
No, I get
And
that.
I'm not.
I get that. I get that. Is it? You don't want to be the third pig player. Too much bacon.
Yeah,
Steve
exactly.
said it's on the site. Well, excellent. £35 for the core rulebook. Would you so if £35? Yeah, your nay for you.
Probably, yeah, I'll buy it probably. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. Could break it that
But
year.
again, if it's just the rules, if there's nothing extra,
Well, you get law. You
you
definitely get
know,
law.
how many pages of lore,
Oh,
how
I
much
don't know. I don't know how
artwork.
pages. Do you
Well,
want word count?
I, I need, I want to know. You know how like the Games Workshop things like, oh, it's actually like only 30 pages of rules, and then it's like a lot of lore and a lot of like
Yeah,
just
yeah,
caps.
yeah. You want that level.
Yeah,
Fair.
yeah,
Steve will most likely buy the book for two reasons. Okay, I didn't ask you a life story, Steve. I like the lore and I like having books. So you actually, that's your point one, and that's actually 2 points. So maybe you need to check yourself. But his second point is it's a way to support the game we're loving the game of. Yeah, well, I just spent £700 on Old Ombre, so they can have that instead of a £35 rulebook. Robbie says, Doom Pig. And Tom says, 140 plus pages. Wow. It's a big book. It's a big book. So hopefully you get a good amount of lore.
Yeah.
And then also you get the rules. So nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good. So then post January, we go into February, and then we have Kithguard.
So let's hope we're going to have issues sorted. We're going to get production out there. We're going to have enough volume of quantity of stock available that we're going to be able to order and get it. And then I go back into Trolls, paint them orange/yellow, actually try and paint this army well, not just quickly. And it's exciting.
That is exciting. From what we've seen so far, you've got the Watchtower. It's a big structure. Very cool.
Yeah.
You've got I'm pretty sure it's confirmed now, super heavy Warjack with some sort of junior caster with him by the looks of it.
Yeah.
You've got like a pseudo Gunborn model. I think it might actually be Gunborn because they said Gunborn is coming back with him. You've got the old like Dozer. Oh, I can't remember the name. There was the Diatrol that was ridden by a pig with a machine gun. Right, I'm pretty sure you'll have them a version of them.
Yeah.
And then it looks like you've got loads of shooty elements in the army with trolls, so that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And
orangutan trolls.
Trolls. And you've had the camo sniper. He looked really cool. Yeah. So they look like they'll be a lot of fun. And yellow and orange will be really interesting. What sort of inspired you for that color?
Because I didn't want to do blue again. If I'm honest, I did not want to do blue.
Fair.
And I thought orange and yellows would contrast really well with the greens that of the camo and
Mm.
Almost, yeah. So I'm gonna
Will you
paint
use
them a bit.
contrast paint, do you think?
My plan is to following Russ Charles's amazing advice is painting shades of pink, and then going over with the yellow contrast afterwards, and it will mean that you have real depth and things, and the yellow will really pop.
Okay,
And yeah,
yeah, sounds great.
that's the plan.
I can't wait to see that.
I'm going
That
to
sounds
test.
awesome.
I'm probably going to buy some or get some just odd models from other things
And try.
and test it out beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds good. But I think you'll be able to execute it, and then you'll have a really like an army that really pops on the table, right?
So in contrast to my dust that are all dark and muted, I
Mm.
want the guard to be really a bit like your
Brown
trolls, how
bloods.
they really
Yeah.
pop, your Born Bloods. I want to do that sort of thing with
Yeah.
my Kithguard.
I think you'll achieve that, and it's quite interesting because my old Umbre are probably going to be a bit more muted,
Okay.
right? So they're
Yeah, yeah.
probably gonna be like your dusk. Steve said, "Hey Huggy, lovely to meet you in Wales." And Bob Meister, kind of sad. Kif card is pushed back to February. So yeah, I think me and Dan both, we're both sad because, well, Dan was gonna jump straight into them, and new armies are always really exciting for the game. But I think I at least feel that I'd much rather them push them back to February and be able to deliver them within their new time frame than not say anything, let you order them in October, then actually deliver them in February and have people raging for 4 months that they haven't arrived. What's your
Yeah.
feels on that, Dan?
Uh, I wish that Steamforge Games as a company would sort out their production issues that they've had for years. That's my honest hot take is that Steamforge seem to do a great job creating models, great job with rules, great job with art, great job with sculpt, great job with mechanics and lore. But it always seems to fall down on the production side of the company. There always seems to be some sort of issue with getting stock or stock being delayed or a typhoon or someone's mum's died in another country that meant they couldn't send the file or whatever. So I'm hoping that once we get to 2026, those issues will be resolved and the roadmap will be kept to, and we will not have the continued frustration of being told X, receiving Y on the production standpoint. But I think it's a good move just to say, actually, you know what, we're going to say it's happening then we don't get people angry. We don't want people waiting for something that might be coming. Wink face. So yeah, you don't. Yeah, that's my hot take on it. What do you
No,
think,
I
Aaron?
think I think that's valid. So I'm on. Well, I say I'm glad they said it rather than not. That I
Yeah,
also probably that does also come with, in an ideal world, they would just deliver it on time and there wouldn't be any need to delay any of it. And I think you're probably correct in that they deliver on some things really well, right? So, okay, I think Old Umbre's play testing's probably slipped a little bit, if I'm honest.
yeah,
But apart
yeah, I
from
agree.
that, they tend to deliver pretty well balanced, models and units, and if they need tweaks, they're pretty small. So I think they deliver well on rules and mechanics and aesthetics and sculpts. But they do seem to consistently not be able to deliver what they promise on time. So I'm not sure if that's logistics. I'm not sure if it's a team issue. I'm not sure what it is, but I do agree that and a great example is what they mentioned last at Adepticon, which hasn't come to fruition. Delaying, like so for Old Umbre, if you ordered the core box at a certain time, you're now no longer not getting that till October now, and you only told that quite late into the schedule. And then obviously, as far as we understand, the second box the current box for Old Umbre is still on time. Um, I'm still waiting for a shipping notification for mine, and it was released 3 days ago. So hopefully, that comes soon. But yeah, I do agree that they do seem to consistently fall short on logistical challenges rather than game rules. So it would be great
Yeah,
if in 2026 they could turn the corner, and even if they just give themselves more time. So they say Kifguard will be released over 6 months, and people can
yeah.
expect it over 6 months.
Turns
Uh,
out if you don't promise someone something, they're not expecting it. If you
yeah,
don't, or if you don't say it, if you just say, do you know what, Kithguard that are going to be our next army released, that's perfectly fine. And I don't necessarily think I don't think that's an issue with their comms even. I don't think it's that. I think they're probably well intended to get those dates. I think that they're trying to be really open with the community and say, look, this is the aim, this is the intention, but it's been a repeated pattern throughout Steamforged Games history that while they might have even CEO, even Matt might stand up on stage and say this is what we want to do, this is where we want it to be. I'm not saying that it's it's not his fault. He probably wants it to be there, and he's getting the information. He's being told this is when it's going to be. But there certainly has been a historic and repeated process of things getting delayed, issues with production, issues with sculpts. That as a production side, that seems to be the bit that always seems to trip over themselves.
Yeah,
That
totally,
yeah.
totally agree. Chris Clare says his next army wants to be a real paint project for himself and push himself. That's similar to you, right, with your trolls. Bob Meister said they need need the time to up production. Yeah, and it's interesting, right? Because I believe that Gravediggers, they said, we didn't have the production to produce the Gravediggers. And obviously with Old Umbre, they now, for the second box, don't have the production to produce the Old Umbre either. So maybe they need to take a look at how they're doing that. Tom, I forgot about the container of Navigators getting lost. It was the perfect irony that the Navigator Guild got lost at sea. You couldn't write it. If Dan this is Robbie. If Dan plays Trolls again, I can't wait to call Judge when his Heavy War Beast gets a surprise caster kill. Throw back to SmogCon. What's your threat? Great question.
Yeah, great question. If you point at a model and I explain the threat of that model that you've asked about, don't get pissy at the thing that's 2 inches closer to you.
True. Dan spitting facts. Dan spitting facts. Handsome Dan with the facts. And so last thing we have, is on to March. So we've still got So in February, that's the last Dark Operation release. And Crucible Guard are being done over 5 months.
Yeah.
So they'll be done over 5 months. I'm not sure if that means in February you'll no longer be able to buy them, or just after February it'll be released. Probably the latter.
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. I think one of the reasons I'm a bit disappointed with the Kithgard delay is not really is more that it was going to be an exciting time if I was able to get a new army, you were able to get a new army, and it's like, we get to test, there's both these two new things, but that just happens. Again, I issues with production do happen in companies. No, but it's just like I say,
it's a consistent issue for Steamforged, isn't it?
Yeah.
By the time you get your Kithgard, I might be 10% competent Old Umbre, so I might stand a chance. You never know.
Well, you'll be fully painted by then, right? Because
some will be painted.
Welsh Masters, no, but like your Welsh Masters, you plan to get it painted for the Welsh Masters.
Yeah, that's not till September, man. Your Kithgard come in February.
You got ages, you got months.
There will be at least some painted. better than none. So then March. So then by February, Crucible Guard and Dark Operations are. I expect that just means they're no longer going to get releases, but still available. I assume that's what that means. So then in March, Formfall carries on, Kithgard carries on, and Infernals come back to the fray. Yeah.
If I wasn't getting Kithgard, I'd be looking at how much the Infernals would be to get an army of, because painting dark, grotesque things is something I enjoy painting. But also they're a problem faction. They were a problem faction in Mark III. I think they're still a bit of a problem faction for the Dark Horde factor, and playing points up, like we discussed last time.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting how that release impacts Infernal's representation at events, and it would be going to be interesting.
Be interesting. Robbie says, "What's your threat?" Haha. It's like the philosophical question of Warmachine, isn't it? Tom, Welsh Masters set for June next year. Well, Tom, man, if I'm not painted by February, I'll be painted by June. Don't worry, guys. Chris, what about UKTC? That will be probably fully painted. That is in February, so that is a good point from Chris. If I want to go there,
Manchester, or
that is up Mank. We should probably go to that because there's not really much going on in February.
I'd be up for that.
Nice. So I think I can get fully painted because it's all going to be contrast. The War Beasts were going to be quick. The only thing that will take time really is the Liegeman Wardens, so like the infantry guys. There's lots of detail, and they're literally only there to die and turn into a werewolf. So the irony is that they'll take the most time to be painted, and the first thing to die, I'll kill them myself. Kurt, hey Kurt, how are you? Me and Dan send our love to you because you're a great guy. I plan to be
Yeah.
fully painted for the Welsh Masters in June with Kithgard. What a lad!
Me and Kurt are going to be Kithgard brothers. We're going to
He's
be,
committing.
his committee. We're going to be there, rocking it. Yeah, it's going to be
Nice.
great.
So we'll look at the UKTC because I wasn't really aware. So that also spaces out if Welsh Masters in June. That spaces out Warm Manchester a bit nicer because then that means Warm Manchester in August means you have
Yeah,
rather than August straight into September. So we can pray to we
nice.
definitely can pray to UKTC into Welsh
Yeah,
into Warm Manchester. I've already bought my Warm
yeah.
Manchester ticket, so I'll definitely be there.
York,
Um,
York weekend or
I
whatever
don't know when
that's
that
called.
is. Is there a date for York Weekender yet, guys? That would be good to know. Kurt says definitely Dan. You're definitely not Brian Blood. Kifguard Bros.
Yeah.
The KK.
Okay. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Whoa.
whoa.
Oh.
That was close.
No, that'd be really good. So yeah, I think we can probably, obviously work, travel, family
Life.
emergency given, we can probably
Yeah,
do UKTC into Welsh into the other one,
yeah.
the
Let's hope,
Welsh
hope that.
War Manchester.
Yeah,
Have you bought
let's
your ticket
hope
for that
that.
yet? You can buy them now.
No, I have
Okay.
not. I will do that when I get paid on Tuesday. I'll be. There's lots of
We
things I need to do.
paydays. Uh,
Payday.
yes. Chris said there's nothing locked in yet for York Weekender. Okay. Hopefully, if they want to do it like say post August, say on November, that would be a lovely cadence to the year. We
Yeah.
could end York Weekender in November, then we can chill out till January again, and then February comes round and we do the UKTC again. Is UKTC question, Chris? You're in the know. Is that going to be an Igon qualifier? Is it going to be Steam Force games run? And it's going to be fully painted by the sounds of it. He just said that. We know that. Okay, nice. So that is what we're looking at model wise. Quite dense, really. So Dark Operations is currently already out, but we'll still get models. Old
Yeah.
Umbre's not done till December, so maybe we can expect a Colossal in those releases. Because we know Lord of the Feast is coming because that's been spoiled in a rules leak. So that only really there's 2 empty months then, and we don't know what they'll be. So maybe we can expect a Colossal, maybe we can't. Dark Operations got loads of things to come still. Then we've got interestingly because I was speaking to Robbie today in the Frozen Forgotten box. They're like lesser warlocks, right? I imagine
Yeah.
initially when command card rays were still going to be 2-player boxes, they probably were full warlocks in there, and that to be downgraded to lessers because they're not going to be played against. They're not going to be played across 2 factions, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Chris says, I
Oh no,
believe.
no, 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 no. They are. Sorry, they're going to be. Sorry, they are going to be available for both the Dusk faction. So like the Last Hunt are going to be available with the Dusk faction and the Fury version of it.
But
The
different
Fury.
rules.
Do you mean different rules for the Last Hunt, or do you
Yeah.
mean? So the Last Hunt, that box, that group of models is going to be like a Cardray, like the old version of Cardray when Steamforge, when a Privateer Press first sold Cardrays that you can use them in both army lists. The Last Hunt, I believe, is going to be able to be used in both army lists with the same model, same rules, but they can be used in both the Dusk
Okay.
side and the Fury side, which eventually comes out at
Interesting.
some
Because
point.
obviously, when I got back into the game, card raids were 2 faction, and then they said new card raids are no longer 2 faction, or well, some of the existing card raids aren't 2 faction.
But I'm pretty certain they said. I'm pretty certain even Sherman might have said it in your review of it that the Dusk, that the what's it called, the Last Hunt are going to be able to be used in
In
both
House Nero
sides.
as well. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that's it. That's it. House Nero.
Cool, that's cool.
Or whatever.
Chris said the UKTC he believes is an Igorna qualifier. No more details yet. They want it to be 100+ players. Maybe optimistic. Yeah, I think 100+ players. I mean, I would love to see 100+ players, but Welsh Masters being probably the most known and popular event in the calendar, being 65, means that I would be surprised if a new tournament goes to 100 players straight off the bat.
No.
Your thoughts?
I think the location will also limit that number
Yeah, agreed.
because if it was like Midlands, if it was like Northampton, kind of like, in the middle of the country, or if I'm honest, towards London, I think you'd get more.
Yeah. Like LGT,
It's
like LGT would be a good place to have a War Machine event. Um,
yeah.
Tom, yeah, outside Games Workshop, nothing really sticks at those grand tournaments. Guildborn NPC, Tribe at Fizzled. Yeah, I would expect maybe 40 or 50 players, and I would say that is a really good turnout. If you get like 50 players, I think you've done really
I,
well.
I think it's also a great place to advertise the game, especially when you have a load of competitive 40k players that are playing a game system that is not built to be competitive, and then seeing actually
Mm,
what
mm,
real tables look like, what 3D terrain can look like,
yeah,
what you know actual focused competitive play can be seen.
agreed. Kurt said, so Kurt, last hunt Warlock is a lesser Warlock. Yeah, so I know what it is, Kurt. What I was under the impression is that it's a lesser Warlock because it wasn't initially they were designed as full Warlock to be across both factions, and then when they did the command card race swap, the reason they made a lesser Warlock is it's not going into the other faction. But Dan has informed me that I was wrong, and it is to go into the other faction. But they're going to be paid against both, but
That's
just
what I
lesser.
thought. Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought that was the
yeah.
whole point. I'm pretty certain I've heard that on your very podcast. Uh, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I mean, people, if you go watch that video, guys, and then you will find out.
yeah, yeah,
um, cool, nice. So I think model wise, obviously looking like a good year. Lots
yeah,
to. I suppose it's interesting, right? Because I suppose you could argue that actually everything on that board, the only things that are actually new is maybe a couple new things for Old Umbre because currently they're all out. Dark
yeah,
Operations sounds like it's just being able to get access models, not new rules.
yeah.
And then House Callus and Sea Raiders are only a small release, and then Kithgard are completely new. Because I was sort of looking at this thinking, oh god, if these are all new releases, the mental
Yeah.
capacity we're going to have to try and keep in mind is a lot. But actually, they're mainly, Dark Operations, Crucible Guard, Infernals, and Formful Alliance are all really re-releases.
Yeah.
So
And I think also, I think one thing that Steamforge has done is they've done their roadmaps. We've also had a couple of things that have surprised us.
mm,
I don't think the Phantasm was ever on a road map
no,
until quite late. So having those silhouettes of models, I think that's something good to the Helldrake or whatever it's called, Helldraker.
Hellraker, yeah.
Hellraker again, same thing. So um, while it's good to have a roadmap, I think it's also I really like the fact that Steamforge still goes right. You know what? Look, here's this cool thing that you can now get. I'd love it, and I think we spoke about this before. If they could do it where every main faction gets some new thing once every quarter or every half a year, so then everyone can be excited.
Interesting, because I think the problem with doing that, right, is that I would quite like for them to say, like, I don't know, Brian Bloods is fully complete and they will never get anything else. I would quite like that, because then you could be like, I'm going to buy the army, say you're like a completionist and you want to get FA of one of everything, whatever. You've got a complete faction. Whereas when they keep adding models, like, oh, every 4 months or 6 months, you get one more model. Yeah, it adds to that bloat of the game, right? But also, if for example, they keep every 2 months giving something new for Brian Bloods, I'll be like, oh well, I sort of thought I was complete.
Yeah, I can get that. I think
So,
that's fair.
yeah, so nice. So that's the roadmap.
Yeah.
Chris Clare said, Aaron, that has been confirmed how it will work in terms of what? Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but maybe the Frozen I've forgotten. Maybe it
Yeah.
can be confirmed it will work between both. Yeah, that's cool. I was under the impression that it wouldn't work between
It would.
both, but if it would, that's really cool because
Yeah.
the Frozen box is Fury, right? The Nis of
Yeah.
Fury. Oh, complete
Yeah.
armies. Sorry, Chris. That
They'll be complete armies.
what will be complete armies?
That like you say, there'll be armies that will get completed, I think, and then they won't have any more releases.
Oh, nice, Chris. Sorry, yeah. So that's cool. I even I do understand what you're saying, Danny. Because if like, for example, say I just said I'm only going to play Brian Bloods ever in this game. Obviously, if they never get anything different, there'll be a point where I'll probably be like, oh, I wish I had something new.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose that's the trade-off, right? Is that if you do want to only ever play one army, that at one point you probably would have feel like, oh, I very much completed this army, and I would like something new. But I suppose from a company wise, it makes sense to do that because then someone might buy another army.
Yeah.
Nice. So I think it's the communication is good. I think we both agree that it is a shame. It would have been really nice for you to get your Kith card alongside my old Umbre and sort of learn playing new armies against each other would have been really cool. Um, how do you feel about like their sort of model with the My Mini Factory and making some armies that you can print?
I think it's something that most companies will be looking to do. I think
Mm.
that with the invention of 3D printing, it's sort of going to be something that companies possibly need to do to survive as well and to get more engagement. I
Yeah.
think it's great. I wish I had a 3D printer because I'd love to be able to print off my own Nectar Factor, my own Cephalix and things like
Mm.
that. But I don't have the space. I don't have the facilities. I don't have, I've got a young son. So just all those things to consider. I think it's really good. I think it's good to have the mixture of you can buy some products off the shelf that are the main armies, but those
Mm.
other armies, those side parts, you can get printed. Um, yeah, I'm not against it at all. I think it helps because in wargaming now, we're very fortunate. Lots of our friends have 3D printers, so it's not too bad to sort of ask someone, go, actually, can you print off this unit for me? So yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's good. One thing I would say is, and this something that I understand why prices are, but the prices of models, particularly the 3D printed models, still surprises me a bit for individual units. Um,
Even just
but
for
that's
single
it.
models, right?
Yeah, yeah. But I know a company's got to make money, and I know they want it to be successful. It just still sometimes surprises me that um, people know how much resin would cost to print off a X model. So if you're then charging Y, but that's Steamforge got to make money. Steamforge, we want to keep it to be successful and developing. I think one thing Private Press um, fell down on was understanding sort of the how to keep their business profitable and therefore being able to keep on investing into
Yeah.
it. We know how much stock stores had to physically stock at one stage, or 40k a local game store to us in Colchester had a huge amount of stock. But when you're selling one or two models a week, but you've got a lot of shelf space taken up by it, it's not really worth it. So yeah, that's my hot take on it. What
Agreed.
do you think? Do you think if you had a 3D printer, would you be just printing off loads?
Hmm, interesting. A few things from the chat. Tom said, yeah, but they also said there aren't any complete armies yet. So that's interesting. Apparently, none of the armies are complete yet. That's cool. Yeah, so if I had a printer myself, I'm my base position is similar to you, that I haven't got infinite space in the house, and I'm quite
Yeah,
fortunate that I've got a cupboard in the spare room, basically got all of my boxes of all my models, and the cupboard's just my stuff, and I feel
yeah,
grateful for that. I haven't really got
yeah.
then the space to say I'd like a spare desk anywhere to put a 3D printer and a cleaning station and that. So not really viable for me. If I did have that space, would I be into it? Personally, probably not because of just the health stuff. I know you can minimize that through PPE and ventilation, etc. But with my irritable chest, I probably wouldn't go for it because of my health. But if I health wasn't an issue and space wasn't an issue and I had it, would I be printing off armies? Probably yes. I don't know too much the actual cost of resin. So if it wasn't just like very, very cheap, I probably wouldn't just print an army off for the fun of it. But if it was
Yeah.
like, if I could print off like a Cephalix army for like £100 and get like one of everything, I probably
Yeah,
would.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
for the fun of it. Um, and I suppose having the option, like, okay, if you didn't want to print Cephalix, but you wanted to print it Formful, having that option would be really handy. I probably would end up with more models, like and printing more models.
yeah,
In terms of the model, I do think it makes sense because it's like people have 3D printers anyway. So like
yeah,
by selling models you can just buy, then also saying, oh, there's this option you can buy STLs from us because people are going to print stuff anyway. So why not have a avenue where you sell STLs and make the most of that as well?
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I think it makes complete business sense. Totally get it. Um,
yeah,
I think it's good. I do hope like because currently you can play all the Mark III stuff. If like Infernal Grimkin Crucible Guard and Dark Operations and Cock become really apparent, and then you've got Kith Guard. That will then be like 14 armies that are played regularly. At what point does the mental load become like, okay, that's a lot to try and keep in in your mind of what everything can do. Um,
I'd be okay for them to say that the other Prime armies that aren't getting Steamforge releases or like 3D trials actually become non-legal events.
yeah, yeah. So I think that could be a route where you say some legacy armies no longer have prime armies, right? So
Yeah,
Menoth
yeah,
has legacy. You still get that list, and you can still play anything, but you take away their two prime choices, and they just have a
yeah.
legacy entry. So when maybe
And typically,
when Infernals and Grimkin all that done, and we have 14 armies to play from, they can say the rest of the legacy stuff isn't prime legal.
yeah. And when we looked at Welsh, there wasn't many legacy armies. It wasn't huge. It was mostly Mark IV anyway. So it's effectively happening. But if you just say it, I think you can just make it really a bit clearer. And also when people play armies they can get hold of,
Mm.
and so it might be a sort of a natural shift away from the old legacy stuff.
Yeah, Tom says also there's a lot of fiddling with 3D printing so I'll pass. Yep, it's not like you just go buy a printer and click print and you get the model. It's quite involved. And Chris says can't wait until they make 3D printers that paint as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm still like with painting. I'm probably out. If one it was I hate it and 10 was I really really enjoy it and I'll do anything else. I was probably previously like a 3 or a 4 where I disliked doing it more than I got enjoyment out of it. I'd say doing the Brian Bloods for the Welsh and doing it a bit more and using it as a time away from work and life. Maybe I'm up to a 5, potentially a 6, where I probably enjoy it to a very small degree more than I dislike it now. So like it's no longer a thing that I begrudge doing, but still
yeah,
I don't sort of like, oh, I can't wait to paint today. You know what I mean? Like I still paint because it looks better painted and it needs to be painted. I don't really paint still because I want to paint.
yeah.
Uh, how about
And I think
how
that's.
about you for painting?
I would say that.
Out of 10, if 10 you would do nothing but painting, and 1 the least thing you do would paint, where do you feel you're on that scale?
So I go through fits and starts. So it depends on what the model is,
Mm,
and it depends what's coming up. So when I had the Phantasms delivered, I was like, I'm a 10. I'm getting one of them painted. This is amazing. I'm loving it. And then I painted one of them, and I'm like, oh, motivation to get the other one done. Probably a 2 at the moment. Uh,
yeah, fair, fair. I think for me, like certainly, like say we both lock in and we say we're going to go to UKTC. I think then painting, like I would then be really motivated to paint because I'll be like, right, the older ombre's got to be done, and I want to play in that tournament. So I'd probably jump to like a 8, where it's like, okay, I do want to paint now because I've got something to paint for. I think most of the time, if we never went to any painted tournament and we could play unpainted for the rest of our lives, I would
yeah,
probably end up painting Saint Army very very slowly. Um, uh,
yeah.
Ghost said, "Do you think that many legacy armies get a nerf in Jan, like Scorn Exalted? I think potentially, if anything gets to look at, will be a couple of solos in Infernals, and maybe Zalatov because win rate's really high. I don't think any other legacy armies will get
Yeah.
looked at all." Steve said, "Been painting since 5 p.m. today." Multiple times, I've said, "Okay, time to take a break, but let me just do this little bit and just keep on going." Yeah, nice, right? So I
Yeah.
would love to be like that.
Yeah, I get like that, but then I get like that once I'm doing it and once I'm set up and I'm happy and like I will gladly sit down. There's some weekends where I've gone like when I had got my dusk, I literally sat down and was like, right, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to try and get this whole army painted in a weekend, and I did it, and that was and I hyper fixated like a really really focused on it, and I loved it and enjoyed it and listened to podcasts or watched TV during it. That was great, but currently I'm like, oh, got to paint a phantasm,
Yeah,
my other
yeah.
phantasm, and
I think
yeah,
like on the lead up to Welsh, I was like, when there was like basically my whole list to do, I was like, oh, this is gonna take. I was like slogging right. When I got close to it and I was like halfway done, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm definitely gonna be done in time. I felt a bit like, oh, it's gonna be look really good when it's done, and now it's all done. And I've got to now start on Old Umbre again, right? And I've got a
yeah,
100 point list which is all grey or like primed white. I'm again now like, oh god, right? I've got ages. Say we go to UKTC, I've got ages to UKTC. I've got to start a whole 100 point list again. I'm back probably down to like a 2 now of like, oh, I really can't be bothered to start this whole new project. I think if we buy a ticket for UKTC and we say we're going to go, I might jump up to like a 4, and then as we like get into it, I'll probably get rolling. Chris says if I paint an army of solos, it would be fine. Painting 15 sort of like models that are units is no fun. 15 rangers, and Tom said facing 15 rangers isn't also fun, which is true. Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. Right? If I could paint like only war beasts and solos, that would be no problem. But things like liegemen wardens and liegemen ursons, which are like units of 5 or 3, and their armor is really detailed. That's going to be like the unit that I'm going to like enjoy painting least. I feel like Warjack or War Beast with big surface area that you can do in like 4 block colours. Perfect, right? You can put on the colours. It looks good. Great. Yeah. But I think UKTC is achievable for us. I believe. I don't know what we were talking about before. Like, someone got talking about painting, didn't we?
We got talked about painting. What was it?
I don't know what we were talking about. What else can we talk about? We've got like 20 minutes before we probably wrap up. What are you? Who are you playing? You're playing Shadowflame Shard into Crix next week.
Yeah, I'm playing the most competitive list imaginable. Steve's not going to stand a chance. It's gonna be great.
I think I'm playing against Double Hellraker on Wednesday.
He's taking.
Matt's taking the Double Hellrakers, I think. Yeah. Trial by fire for the old hombre.
I mean that's interesting.
Spicy.
I take it's spicy. I want that is definitely a spicy meatball.
Yeah.
I'm playing what's it called?
Warlock.
I'm playing
Cyrus?
Valix with an Atlas, 2 Vipexes, Carver with Carver and Warboar, Pythia, Regulus, 2 Scions, Quickfan Wind Strikers, because that's what I own apparently, Shades, and some Shadowmancers, and that's my 100-point list.
Oh, that'd be cool, man.
To face to Steve. It's going to be great. I'm going to get all the crits on feet turn, and I'm going to win the game.
I was about to say you got quite a few crit effects in there with crit Heartseeker. I think Achilles got crit paralyze or something, crit poison.
Yeah, crit poison, crit blind.
Yeah, nice. Chris says, what changes do we want to see in January? Bloody hell, that's like a 3-hour long answer. I feel
that's a podcast in itself. But
rapid fire. Top 3 changes you'd like to see in January.
Spell racks gone.
Ooh.
Boom. That's number 1. So every caster gets their own unique spells and actually makes the game more interesting. 2, get rid of Fortune fucking Hunter off of that bloody troll with a gun.
All right. Yeah.
Change that.
That
3, make Slayers great again. Make Slayers in Dusk. 10 wounds. Give them Weapon Master. Give them Battle Driven. And also reduce them to 6 points. So they're actually going to be used. They're my hot 3.
Nice.
Shoot, Aaron.
I like how you started sensible and it went more off the rails as you went 2 or 3. So I would like a change to spell rack, but I don't think the January update will be the place for it.
Right. Rapid fire, Aaron. Rapid fire.
Right. Okay. So if I could top 3, I would change the spell rack, and probably I would just remove things like Carnage and Calamity and Battle Lust, and just keep tech spells on there. That's what I do. I would like a change somehow, and it's very hard to do this in one change. I would like to reduce the lethality of the game, right? I would like them to, and a good example is today. I was playing against the lovely Robbie, right? And he had some Brock dudes, the dinosaur birds that charged, and he had like Carnage up. He cast Death March on them, and then they've got Gang. So they were mat 12 so I was like. Oh, well, I am defense 15 this turn. He was like, I'm mat 12. I'm like, okay, so anything on a double 1 misses my def 15 model, right? I would like things to be less accurate and also less killy, including our Rumbre, right? Everything less killy. So maybe a change to the spell rack to remove those really big spells off them. A change to lethality so you can reduce that. And I would like them to change payload and best play plans, which won't happen because
Yeah, we want
it's
to do that.
Steamroller.
Jan update, not Steamroller. We both
Oh,
know
okay.
that
So I've got to pick
payload
one
is
more
taken
thing.
out back, not in the present.
I'm trying to think of something high level rather than just this one unit that annoys me that I would like to nerf. Maybe something to change the way focus works. Because I think a good example today against Kishtar was the only reason I was able to win is that I was able to land 2 really big spells that even with spending 5 focus, I would still kill Kishtar. Whereas against a Warlock, I couldn't do that. It would just, if he had 2 focus and he had 2 transfers, I couldn't kill them. So potentially something to bring focus closer to Fury. People do argue that like Warjacks sort of like baseline get better stats, but then you can spend more Fury with your War Beast, so sort of that thing that offsets it. But yeah, spell rack I would like to see changed. I would like the game to be less lethal, and potentially I would like focus to work slightly differently. Maybe.
Yeah.
It does also feel I would say that every Warjack faction can run all their Warjacks at 3 focus every turn without any sort of worry, right? They all power up. Quite a lot of them got like accumulator, so they basically start on 2 focus. Then your 1 mechanic unit hands out 3 focus, and then your jacks are all on 3 focus. But then you could say that's the offset to Fury, that you could run all of your War Beasts really hot. So yeah.
I mean, I think my second and third session were far more sensible and rational.
Well, Firequill won't be around locally now, so you can forget about him.
I don't care.
You don't care.
Don't care.
You just don't like that. Wait, you can fuck off anyway because your shades have got Fortune Hunter. You got three of them with Fortune Hunter.
I want to get used. I'm going to be playing this. That's how I want to kill Steve. Steve doesn't know what's coming.
Be good against Old Umbre because they're full of characters.
Oh,
full of them. That would be really good against Old Umbre. Robbie, Mat 8 used to be like legendary level, like Butcher and Overkilly dudes. Agreed. Mat 8 was like you're a Warlock or a Warcaster and you're very good at fighting. Now, Mat 8 means like you read a book and you're Mat 8 now.
Well, the amount of things that get to Mat 10, you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
catch.
Yeah.
So Chris Clare, what would you like to see? What would you like to see from the January change as well? And everyone, what would you like to see before we've got 30 minutes before we wrap up? What would you like to see from January change? So we would also like to see news on press gangers, right? Because I was so excited when they said about press gangers. And the merch. They showed some really nice white hoodie, I think, for press gangers.
Yeah. And the cards.
The cards.
And tournament support.
Organised play kit.
Play kit. We've seen them now. We've seen a couple of physical copies. Let's get them out there.
So that'd be really cool. Chris, always made me sad that Fireon was bed swordsman in Ios, yet 2 solos in faction were better. True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So true. Luigi, thank you for joining us. Unit cards would be rad. Yes, agreed. Yeah. We would all like to see unit cards. Marking my former Marauder crew and Locker Bash on the app was a pain in the bum. Steve said he would like to see a change to the spell rack also. Nice, Steve. He would also like to get merch. Yep, because he would go deep onto the merch. Yeah. Chris, number 1, less lethality. I think universally we agree that less lethality would be good. Things are too accurate, they hit too hard, and some stuff threatens from too far away.
Yeah.
Agreed. And it's interesting because technically, all right, you could say, okay, it's not the wrong way to play. You just play differently with things that are less lethal. But I think it leads to games not being messy because you just stay out of threat. Then as a new player, it's harder to engage with that game. Whereas messy games where people are getting in threat and there's attacks flying around are a bit more easy to get into, right?
Yeah, I think if you send if a Warjack going in isn't guaranteed to kill the other Warjack, but it's instead guaranteed to basher it, beat it up, I think games will be we can go to We can go to 7 turns, but very rarely a game's going past turn 2 or 3.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's I'd say, Jake.
Chris said casters more identifiable, and I suppose that
Yeah,
probably ties into taking
spell
big
rack.
spells off the rack and giving them back to
Yeah,
casters. Yeah,
yeah.
we agree with that. It would be
And
nice.
third one,
You go.
has he got? Has he got an irrational third one like mine with
Yeah, he's
Slayers?
yeah. I don't know. Maybe it would be like a buff to Boom Boom or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck me. I'm an Oracle. His third one was McCoy buffs.
Yeah.
Who could have seen it coming?
Bring back ride by attacks. That's what I say.
Right by attacks. Was that you a cav and you could move attacking and keep moving? Yeah, man.
Attack rolls. Yeah.
Yeah. Ride by. So that is a throwback. Bring back good power attacks.
But yeah.
Let
Yeah.
us throw stuff at a direction in a fixed
Yeah.
number. Fucking
Yeah.
throwing stuff D6 into Narnia. Steve Roberts coming in super late to this. Just got in from work. Gonna watch from the start. Well, thank you for tuning in now, Steve. And
Yeah. He needs to give his hot take. If he only had one thing he could change about Warmachine Mark 4 rules wise, what would it be? Go.
yeah, Steve. Yeah, what would you change in Mark 3? Chris said, bring back impact attacks for Cav. Impact attacks.
Yeah.
Remember them?
As well as ride by attacks, impact attacks.
Yeah. Chris Clare, no more weapon locks. Oh my god, and weapon locks.
I mean, yeah.
The niche. Steve, rules question. Oh god, Steve, we're not like Talarian Academy. This is
quick. Let's go.
What is the difference between a normal charge and a cav charge? Dan, I'll let you answer.
So a cavalry charge has boosted attack rolls.
If you are a unicorn and you charge, you get a boost. You get a boosted attack roll because they have momentum. I suppose logically, they just hit you really hard.
Yeah, that makes them really accurate. Obviously, riding fast into something.
Yeah, the momentum makes them more accurate when they get to you.
Yeah.
So they get boosted attack rolls because they do. I never really thought about that. Like logically, why do they get boosted attack roll?
No, they should be ride by attacks and impact attacks and everything else like
True.
it used to be. Yeah, I agree.
You get a boosted ride by attack.
They should also get an extra dice on damage when riding down a hill. That's my clue. That's my.
+1 combat raise when you go down a hill.
It makes hills fucking worth something. Oh,
hills are in a weird place because they're typically not played as opaque, are they? So there's just like a area of the board where.
I had to ask when I played Huggy. I was like, Judge, the hills block line of sight if you're on the other side of them. Like, what is it? He's like, they can, but we're saying they're not because they're all height 1. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But literally, yeah.
They're all played as height 1, so they give you that you can ignore intervening models that aren't being inch of the target, and that's it, right? That's better. Oh, if you're on a hill and someone shoots you, you get +2 death.
Yeah.
Good to know.
If you're on a hill and shoot down, you don't get any buffs, which gravity is.
Yeah. If you shoot down from hill, you should get +2 to hit. Yeah. I don't know why I got my wife's now file, by the way. Becoming a unicorn at one point.
Yeah, you could say it's Aaron, but
yeah. Chris, he agrees. All McCoy buffs. Yeah. Just make him range 24 with a nuclear weapon. What's normal charge? Boosted damage. Yes, Steve, it is. Look at that knowledge.
Yeah, he's learning.
Ooh. Hills technically have a height. You're right, Chris. They do technically have a height, but they're all played at a height that don't block line of sight. So there. You could play them at like height 4, and they do block line of sight, but no one does that.
I'll tell you what, one more sensible thing. I would like to have really clear instructions of how to set up a table. Like I think back in Mark 2, we used to say basically every piece of terrain there had to be. I think it was 5 or 6 pieces of terrain. Every piece of terrain had to be outside of 6 inches of each other, and that just made it really. And it couldn't be within deployment zones. Something like that. Just making it really obvious.
Do you think there should be something in a steamroller that says there has to be 4 bits and iron blocking terrain on every table?
I think there needs to be at least 2. Yeah, but I think there should be. I think every table should have at least. I think it should have 2 line of sight blocking terrain. It should have an obstacle. I think there should be like this is what a table should have, like minimum, and then but the other pieces because I think we played. It was really interesting. The Welsh, it was great, great painted models. But I think one thing we came away from it saying the tables were something to be desired. Some tables looked fantastic with great 3D terrain. Other tables were just completely open for gun lines, and yeah, it was just being shooting into a fishbowl, a barrel. Sorry,
Shooting into a fishbowl. Robbie says,
yeah.
number one, this is his free takes. One, give Butcher impending doom again. Think OGK. That's the real problem with Mark IV, is that some legacy ass army's caster hasn't got impending doom on it. Number two, sprays ignore the in melee penalty to hit. Yes, Robbie. Yes. Why do sprays get the negative penalty for shooting into melee when you're just firing a flamethrower at someone? What do you think, Dan?
Flamethrowers, sprays.
Why do they
Everything
get
to
an
all
in
be-
melee penalty?
It's mad. It's mad. I just it shouldn't be. But also, there's a lot of things that sprays and flames need to change.
Robbie's number three, big one. Bring Black Vlad. Get Vlad back in.
Yeah, get him back in so I can assassinate him after someone asks me about a threat range, and then I tell them the threat range, and they get killed by a thing closer. Yeah, I'll bring back Vlad.
You didn't tell him about your Earthborn, did you? So it's your fault.
He didn't ask. No, yeah, you're right, and he didn't ask about the Earthborn. As the judge came in and explained who was watching my game, when I clearly explained my.
When you said threat though, did you give him all the bells and whistles?
Everything.
Oh my god.
Everything I could for Mulg. And good job the judge was next to me, because he was like, right, you've gone into the exact detail, like every number I could have done for Mulg, just not the Earthborn that was 2 inches closer next to a wood and everything else.
Because if it's close to terrain, it gets faster. It used to have stuff, it was close to different terrain, right?
Yeah.
If it was near water, it got a different buff.
Yeah,
man, I remember that. So Chris Clare, 3 is the recommended line sight blocking pieces of terrain. Is that in Steamroller, Chris? That would be good to know. Bob Meister, something like Warhammer tournament scenarios. When you do have a pickup game, you have a balanced scenario layout. So like a map layout.
Oh, because I disagree with that, because it makes the tables look so boring for 40k. Like it's just soulless.
So you want like a guideline, like the Pirates Code,
I want a guideline.
But you don't want a map.
I don't want a map. I just want you need 8 pieces of terrain. 2 of them need to be line of sight blocking. 2 of them need to be obstacles. A minimum of two, whatever, and they all need to be 5 inches or 6 inches away from each other and not in deployment zones. Something like that.
Yeah, fair. You just want guidelines. Just guidelines.
Yeah, because
you got you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, Steve said another one from me. Remove power attacks. I think actually I agree. You could probably remove power attacks and you wouldn't lose anything from the game. Very rarely I do a headbutt just to knock someone down and kill them. Apart from that, yeah, you could probably lose them. Chris doesn't want set terrain layouts, and I think we agree. We don't want predetermined layout maps. And Chris says the 3 obstructions is in Steamroller, so nice. So Steamroller says there should be 3 line sight blocking bits of terrain, which is good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at the Welsh, not every table had 3 line sight, but that is what it is. We still had a great time, and it was run very well. And it wasn't Ryan or Tom's fault that they didn't have that. It was the venue for not having the terrain. So it was
yeah, 100%. Yeah, Ryan, did a great job.
Yeah, it was really good. So we're gonna wrap up. We've got about a minute left. Any closing, very quick questions from you guys? So next week you've got a game, Dan. I've got 2 games. Any plans for the weekend?
Yeah. Next weekend I am going to watch some rugby on the Saturday.
Nice.
And Sunday I'm coaching. We've got my stepson's got a rugby tournament, so I'm going to coach, and obviously I'll be reffing that as well. So we've got a big festival, and then I'm going to be hopefully on a Dice Down gaming at 7:30 Sunday. Be there.
We'll have to think of a topic. And we've not thought of a topic yet.
No, we're so well organised though. We think of topics well in advance.
Yeah. Not an hour before Sunday. We don't talk about that. We just well in advance. Nice. Right. Well, I'm playing Necrofactorium on Tuesday. That'll be great. And then I'm playing Necrofactorium again on Wednesday. So that'll be great. And then at the weekend, I don't think I've got any plans, but there is a Grand Prix on this weekend, so I'll be watching all the Formula One. Um, and yeah, let's hopefully beat the USA at Ryder Cup 14 3.5 or 4.5, and they can chant USA all they want because they're shit at golf. Steve said I wouldn't class my game as games with you. It's just being present. Well, Steve, we've all been at your point at one point in the game. And you're just learning, right? You'll learn, you'll grow. At one point, you'll be beating me and Dan. Yeah, you get there. It just takes time, but you'll get there. Right, so we will go to the other, go Europe at the Ryder Cup. Let's fucking go. Let's go Europe. Ole, 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 ole. Right, okay. We'll wrap up there. Thanks for your time, Dan. It was lovely. Thanks for the guys in. Thanks for your time in the chat, guys. It's been awesome. Until next week, we'll see you there and have a good one.